What's good, y'all? Peace and blessings. Back with another chapter of the classic True to the Game by Terry Woods. As the congregation made its way down the aisle and outside the church, Gina just sat still and waited for Jamal and Kim to leave the building. She wanted to watch them leave together to be sure they were together. As they walked down the aisle, Jamal was a few steps behind Kim, all smiles. What the fuck is he smiling about? Gina thought to herself as they stopped at her pew. Hi, Gina, Kim said. Gina coldly acknowledged them both, silently rolling her eyes at them. Didn't take you long, Jamal. What do you care for? Don't you want Quadir, he asked. I don't want him. I am his, said Gina, her eyes glaring at Kim as if she could rip the bitch apart. I'm through with him. He's all yours, she spat at her. Before staring Jamal down, waiting for him to say one single word out his pathetic sorry face, if you'll excuse me, I have better things to do, she said. All of Jamal's feelings were crushed. He couldn't believe it. She really wasn't that upset he was with Kim. His plan failed. At that moment, he got the picture. It was really over. Fucking bitch, he rasped. Jamal, you're in a church, said Kim. God understands. He made all of you, didn't he? Jamal asked, looking at Kim, waiting for her to say he was right. Come on, Jamal, she said, leading him out the church. Outside, Gina saw all her girlfriends. Girls from the beauty salons, girls who worked at the mall, girls she hung out with in the park, girls who were close to both her and Sahara. Yo, G, what's up? Said Bridget. Guess what? Jamal is here with Kim. Bridget took the bait. You should have known. I never trusted that motherfucker. Bitch ain't nothing but a whore. And she don't be bullshitting when it comes to your man either. I didn't know the bitch rolled like that, said Gina, knowing that Bridget was just as slimy as Kim. Please, she fucked Adrian's man and then called her on the phone and told her. She said she felt bad about it, and as a friend, she had to tell Adrian about her man. Now you know the bitch is crazy, cause the day she ring my phone with some shit about my man is gonna be the day she get her ass kicked. I'm not fighting over no Jamal, said Gina, even though she wanted to. Bridget glanced across the street. Look, isn't that Quadir? Gina's heart raced. Her mind scrambled and her eyes darted. Where? I don't see him. Quadir was in his black Range Rover with the black tinted windows, which Gina had never seen. So she turned her back, not wanting to be seen, trying to see something she didn't. Yo, the kid is so large it's ridiculous, said Bridget. Andrea walked over to where Gina and Bridget were standing. Yo, what's up? I'm so sorry about Sahara, she said, giving Gina a hug. Gina returned her embrace. I know I'm really torn up about it. Yo, I wonder what he's doing out here, said Bridget. Who? Andrea wanted to know. That kid, Quadir, from down North Philly, said Bridget. Oh, God, is he out here? Where? Girl, the motherfucker is a millionaire, said Andrea, pulling out a pocket mirror. You would have thought she had a winning lotto ticket in the palm of her hand. Gina just stood there feeling two disappointments, one after the other. She felt so fucked up inside. What if he was here to see another girl? What could be worse, besides her girlfriend standing there with their panties wet over a Range Rover? Quad pulled the Jeep over and parked. Gina just stood there with her back turned from him, knowing his every move from Channel Zero news reporters. He's walking over here, said Bridget. The Lord is truly amongst us, said Andrea, looking at the sky, happy to be near the church. Gina was so nervous. She wanted to turn around so bad to see exactly where he was. He stepped from behind, put his hands up to her eyes, and bent into her ear. Guess who? He said. I hope it's who I want it to be, she said, pushing back against him. Who do you want it to be? He asked, with his hand still covering her eyes. I want it to be Quadir. Andrea and Bridget just looked at each other in disbelief. Gina wanted to pull him over to the side and tell him how much she missed him, kiss him 1,000 times, ask him why he hadn't called, but instead, she carried on real cool and casual with the conversation. I thought you didn't come near funerals, she said after he let go. I don't, but I knew you would be here. Gina just stood there looking him up and down as if she had a serious attitude about something. Come here, he said as he snatched her arm and pulled her over to the side. What's your problem? Nothing. Yes, it is. You want to tell me about it? Okay, for starters, you acted like you didn't want to see me anymore when you dropped me off. You never called and you left like it was nothing to you. Then I come home to find out that my best friend had been murdered. You have no idea how I've been feeling. I thought we had something, but I don't know where you're coming from. I thought I did, but I was wrong. You got the pager number, he said, cutting her off. Why didn't you call me? Because I couldn't find it. Besides, you said you were coming back. Baby, I was taking care of business, that's all. If I was fucked up and broke, you wouldn't want to talk to me. That is not true. I would too, she said. No, you wouldn't. Don't no woman want no broke-ass man. This was true, Gina thought to herself and cracked a smile. Money isn't supposed to matter. Yeah, well, tell that to those minors standing over there, said Qua, using his head to point at Gina's girlfriends. Gina started laughing. Yo, I couldn't stop thinking about you. I missed you, he said. I missed you too. Gina went to grab him, but he grabbed her and pulled her so close so he could kiss her. The anchor woman down the street acted like they were on CNN's payroll. The news bulletin read, Gina got it going on. Don't you wish you could be you? And they wanted more news. Bridget started walking over to them, and Quadir let Gina go. Gina saw Jamal turning a corner and speeding away as if the police were after him, looking right at her. Hi, Quadir, Bridget said in I'm a cheap, you can fuck me voice. Hi, he said looking at her. Do I know you from somewhere? No, I don't think so, said Kim's twin. Do you know Black? Gina asked, putting an end to the madness. Yeah, that's my man. That's where I know you from? Black? Where he at? Qua said. Oh, he's downtown, said Bridget, gritting her teeth at Gina. Well, tell him to get at me. I will. Turning to Gina, she asked her if she needed a ride home. No, I'm okay, she turned to Quadir. I'm okay, right? You're better than okay. You and me now. Come on. Where we going? She asked as he led her to his Jeep. Anywhere you want to go within city limits, he replied, opening the door for her. I got something for you, she said. What is it? He asked. Gina scrambled through her MCM bag and pulled out a folded piece of paper and handed it to him. Quadir unfolded the paper and began reading. Come back. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Will you come back? Or don't you know? Or will you get scared and keep running away, forgetting feelings that won't go away? You can't shake it or fake it, these feelings inside. If you just stop running, I'd be by your side. Forever your lady, forever my man, for the rest of my life or until the world's end. I'll love you, you'll see that you can't hide, and these feelings are memories of moments lost in time. The sooner you realize, the better I'll be, and my love will always be here for you, from me, G. Come here, he said, pulling her next to him. Their lips touched as he kissed her deeply. Gina just sat there smiling. She thrived off mad affection. Did you see Bridget? Isn't she a trip? She had no idea that I was seeing you. No one did except for Sahara, and then I talked to Kim. Quadir just sat there, blocking Gina out for a moment. He thought of the bright side of Sahara's untimely death. Rod told him that Sahara knew about Sherelle being in the Bahamas with him. He knew Sahara was waiting to tell Gina. They should remember Sahara as a big mouth, he thought to himself as he turned back to Gina. Bridget is really a trip. She just had to come over there and try to get in your face. I dug her. I knew that I knew her from somewhere, he said. You know her from Black, or you might know her from the boy Rich Green. Rich Green, Quad thought to himself. He didn't like that guy. Rich Green was out to make a name for himself as a member of the Junior Mafia. He was the one that had beef with Quad's young boys. She fuck with Rich Green too? Yeah, but that's supposed to be on a DL. I know Rich Green. Does Black know about them? I don't know. Tell him. Quad and Gina kicked names around for a long time. It seems that for every brother Quadir named, Gina had one of her girlfriends to match them with. Do you know who Black Woman is? Said Quad. Bridget, said Gina, looking at him. No, her name is Pam, Quadir retorted, and she is set for the rest of her life. If you ask me, Black is running game on your girlfriend. She's so busy thinking she's being sneaky and getting over, when in reality she's getting played. He paused. The sad part about it is that if Bridget isn't careful, she'll probably wind up like your girlfriend, Sahara. That's why you're on probation. Why am I on probation? I haven't done anything. I know you, Gina. I've been watching you for a very long time. I heard your name before. I saw your face. And trust me, baby, the two go together well. Well, what did you hear about me? I got the dirt on you. I had to dig deep. You're not so trustworthy, are you? Yes, I am. No, you're not. You just don't know what you're talking about. Gina hated when people talked about her. I know at least 2 brothers you messed with while you was supposed to be with Jamal. Quadir laughed. What are you talking about? You say your conscience was bothering you. And you couldn't see them anymore because of Jamal. You came off like a saint. That's why you're on probation. Who? I'm not saying. That's because you're lying. It's not true. She was so fucking convincing she could have been on television until he said her name. Dion. Remember Dion? Gina just couldn't believe the boy was coming at her with the dumbass shit. Damn, she thought. No one knew about that one. That's different. I didn't really care about him, and I didn't do nothing with him. I never cheat, said Gina. If you didn't care about him, then why'd you take his money? He was throwing it at me. Damn, I wish a motherfucker would just throw money at me, said Quad, making a funny face. How do you know about him? Aha! Don't you want to know? I don't think so, baby doll. Gina, headstrong, refused to be caught up and continued sticking to a story she thought she had sewn up. Well, at the time, Jamal wasn't spending any time with me, but I never cheated on him, she said, as if there was absolutely nothing wrong with that. How could the man spend time with you if he was busy making money to keep you happy? Meanwhile, you're out fooling around, Qua said. You should be ashamed of yourself. That's why you're on probation. This one was different, Gina thought. He had inquired into her past, knew shit he wasn't supposed to, and then threatened her with probation. What exactly is probation? Does that mean no money or something? What part of the game is this? Gina couldn't figure him out. Most male creatures were simple as fuck. Quadir, however, was in a class all by himself. He didn't just want to play. He wanted to win. During the following months she stayed on probation, Quad played a lot of mind games. He even paid a friend of his to push up on her. The guy pulled along Gina in a candy apple red Corvette Saab in the Sterling Mall parking lot. He offered her dinner. They gave her some roses he already had in the back seat, which she gave right back. He talked real nice, giving her all kind of compliments. But to no avail, Gina wouldn't give him the time of day. Quadir really gave her a hard way at first. Then he started to ease up. Things just happened like they were meant to. Gina stayed right up underneath Qua. She was even with him when he would be taking care of business. She knew it was no place for her, and so did he. They did everything together. By the time Christmas came, she was staying at the apartment where he usually entertained his women. Gina felt so at home, particularly after she burned all the evidence that indicated he had a life before she came along. Gina cooked, cooked, cleaned, even did laundry, all between trips to Bloomingdale's and Ann Taylor. She had a ball hurting the feelings of every female who called for him. Bitch, please. I'm his woman. You're a fuck. He doesn't care about you. Quadir, tell her you don't want to fuck with her. She would always pass him the phone, demanding her position to be exposed. He would do it too. Gina had put her thing down real hard. Her power and wiles were so strong that Quadir for once was keeping his interest. He liked coming home to her at night, and he loved her jealousy. She made such a fuss over every little thing that Qua soon realized that he would have to be a man about his extracurricular activities and keep them hidden from Gina. Quadir, being Muslim, didn't celebrate Christmas, but he promised that every other year they would celebrate with gifts. One day, before the holiday, he hid a box in the house and made her look for it. Finally, she found it in the kitchen closet. A big box with gold wrapping paper and a red bow. Not my to the floor, fur Qua. She kissed him before she even opened it. How'd you know? He asked. Gina paid him no mind, too busy ripping at the paper. How'd I know? She muttered, looking as if it was the stupidest question ever asked. Gina thought she would die. It was the coat she had been requesting for months. A mink, to the floor. The most beautiful thing she had ever seen in her life. Everything was going so good. The past 6 months had brought them close, real close. The best part of the whole relationship was that they were on the same level with each other. They were both the biggest flirts in the world. It was clearly understood that there was no messing around. Quadir already knew that it would be stupid of him to think that there weren't guys trying to see Gina. She looked too good. The brothers would always try their luck. Gina handled it though. She was never loose. She would always maintain her composure and represented Quadir, which was a lot of representing. Qua had always been a flirt, except his flirting was different from hers. 3 days after Christmas, a baby girl was born at 4:30 p.m. She weighed 6 pounds and 15 ounces. She was a beautiful baby with locks of black hair and beautiful brown skin. Sherelle, the baby's mother, was in the Germantown hospital alone. She couldn't believe that she had given birth all by herself. She had paged Quadir and told him she was in labor. He didn't call back. Even though she was absolutely sure it was his, she played the entire 9 months as if it were. She was so glad she finally knew who the father was once she saw her daughter. She hadn't been too sure, but when she came out, Sherelle took one look at her and knew she would be called Quanda. Qua knew his flirting was going to get him into trouble. That was even his New Year's resolution. No hoes in 1989. Gina's resolution was much simpler, to save money, something she'd never been able to do. Gina spent money as if it was falling out the sky like rain. She didn't save one dime. It was 1989. She would be turning 19 in March, and she didn't even have a bank account. Jewelry, clothes, shoes, even a fur, and no bank account. If Qua left her today or tomorrow, if he went to jail or if anything happened to him, she would have nothing.